do a little bit introduction for our friends and guests who just joined us. So now we're going to do the part 3 of our webinar for this series of talks. Yeah, so tonight we are going to have Dr. Lai Mee Huong talking to us about the psychological or emotional aspect, how we can cope with this COVID-19 pandemic, this health crisis. I think a lot of us experience some form of worries, fears. Sometimes we become a bit stressful, even being at home for too long, or worried about when you go out, in case you have to go to the supermarket or the market, piece of exposure. So there are a lot of anxieties in us. So tonight we are so glad to have Dr. Lai with us. And in case you do not know Dr. Lai Mee Huong, actually she's not new to on psychological impact on cancer community. And also last year, she also helped us and gave us some workshop for peer counselors so that we can be more ready to counsel others as peer counselors. So tonight, Dr. Lai is going to speak to us again. And she's actually a psychiatrist at both SGH and also Timberland Medical Center. Besides, she's also a lecturer at UNIMAS. Yeah. So as we go through this talk, right, we'd like you to get ready now, a pen and a piece of paper, so that we may be able to get some activities going during the talk by Dr. Lai. Yeah. So I think I give everyone 30 seconds. Get ready your pen and paper, and then we shall let Dr. Lai start in a while. Yep. Okay. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to use the chat feature in this Zoom meeting to, because we would like to put everyone on mute so that as best possible, we make sure that we have a good sound quality. We can listen to our speaker more clearly when everyone is muted later. Okay. So, all right, I think we should just get started. So, Dr. Lai, the floor is yours.
All right. Thanks, Boon Loy. I think I'm very touched by Boon Loy willing kind of do something meaningful, important at this kind of moment, right? And I feel really honored to be invited again to be with all of you. So let me see, how can I move, because this is my first time. We all kind of like adjusting to a new kind of lifestyle, right? To do things differently. So I guess facing this COVID-19 pandemic with this unknown virus, a lot of uncertainties, and that definitely it involve our safety, and we do need to do a lot of changes. So I guess whatever emotion that Boon Loy mentioned just now must be a common experience by all of us, right? So this is how our human mind work, right? When we are facing something unknown, uncertain, and it kind of like it's a threat, right? To our safety, and we need to do a lot of changes to cope. And definitely we have a very good mind, you know, our mind wired. We can do comparisons, you know, compare this to SARS, to compare this to other kind of infectious disease. We will keep doing a lot of data analysis, and we need to do a lot of judging stuff, you know, to keep us safe. So this is kind of the bright side of the mind, but we kind of also know our mind when we kind like when all this bright side, when it kind of overdo, so it can become a form of ruminations, or worrying, obsessing. So how many times do I need to wash a hand? Do I need to wash my hand every time I touch a thing? And we can become very disengaging in this process. We can kind of get lost. So let me ask you, when you see, or when you kind of especially Malaysia need to undergo this MCO, and you can see my slide. This is kind of like today figure. We are near 5,000. Kind of half of it kind of recover, but we also having like 1% plus mortality. I mean death cases, right? And quite a few of it happen in Kuching. So I guess so what's your thoughts when you need to experience this? So I want you kind of take out the paper that you prepare and a pen, just write out a few thoughts. So read my plane. I have a plane, but it's kind of get ruined. Is food enough? I need to take care of my family. Am I safe? Am I infected? My immune system is low, and I guess some kind of flu, cough, some kind of discomfort. This is something kind of common. We experience it most of the days, but I guess many of you like my mind now. Sometimes when I get headaches, or then this thought will kind of pop up: Am I infected? Am I getting a coronavirus? So did that kind of happen to you also? I guess it happened to many people. So or another it's like, is this another suffering? Um, After my cancer, is this another suffering? Oh, we could maybe have thought, oh, no need to work. Yeah, we can stay relaxed. Or we start having some kind of quite judgmental thoughts, like keep a distance from Chinese, Malay, Muslim, Christian, after the news of the cluster that are being announced, right? Or we are seeing certain kind of behavior, then we may have this kind of thought, it's normal to have all this of their food, or whatever they have during this point of time. So what's my, this is all kind of run through in my mind, so have you written a few? Okay. So how about your feelings? All these feelings are normal. I think at this point of time, we can get angry, we can have fear, we can feel quite sad when we listen to those news. A lot of people come to me and telling me like how worrying they are. My own family member, even myself, and I ask my husband, oh, I have this headache now, am I get infected? He kind of said the same thing also. We kind of like become a little bit anxious during this point of time. And also, so when I seeing those come to me because of their struggle with their emotions, for all of us now, so we may feel the loneliness, or shame if our family get diagnosed, or we are suspected. So I have people come to me because their family member are kind of like diagnosed or have COVID-19, and how the social media users, some of them kind of like giving really harsh comments, so putting her in a lot of kind of shame. So we might dominate by greed also, because safety comes first. Food is a essential thing. So we may have all these feelings. So just write down a few of yours, okay, on the paper that you prepared just now. So some people may ask me, I'm blur. So I would say, so what are thoughts? Thoughts are, I don't know, is a thoughts. So maybe you can kind of write down that's my thought. I don't know. Blur might be a feeling like confused, so you can write that down. So thought is when we speak it out, it becomes a speech. So thoughts can be in a form of words or images, pictures, those are our thoughts. So just like kind of pause and wonder, stay curious, like what's the thoughts popping up in my mind. So there is no right or wrong thoughts here. There is no right or wrong feelings here. So all are normal, whatever thoughts or feelings that appear in your mind. Mhm. So after you write down on the paper, I want you kind of tag this paper. Just imagine, just imagine. So the feelings and the thoughts that you write on this paper, I want you to do small activity with me. Just want you to get a sense that how that's look like if all those thoughts, that they are normal, and all those feelings, they are also very human thing, when it kind of pop up, but we kind of let all those emotion and thoughts kind of like hook us, so I want you to get a feel. So how what is that look like? So I want you to kind of like take this paper up. Then I want you to just imagine if this is your thoughts and emotion, and you let it kind of dominate your life, control your life. So you put it very near to your face. Do something like this. So what's that experience look like? So I guess you will notice like that might have a feeling of like trap, like my vision become very narrow, like a tunnel visions, I can't really see the whole bigger picture. I kind of like, if I keep just, let these thoughts or emotion kind of dominate me, so this is what happened. So when this happen, when you let the thoughts, or it kind of happen unconsciously, it happen in a fleet seconds, a few seconds, it just like kind of, sometimes we are not noticing our thoughts. If we're not aware our thoughts and emotion, it can kind of dominate our behavior, dominate us. And it become a very unpleasant experience, right? When you get covered, you can't see things clearly. uh, but if we do it longer, you may get a sense of threat and unpleasant. Then our very normal response, our very primitive response, what will we do? We will want to get rid of that thoughts. So let's do something like this, like hold that paper kind of far away with your both of your arm, kind of like stretch it out, like as if you want to dislocate your hands, right? So how do you feel if you keep holding this paper like this? Want to get rid of it, very far from me. So if I keep doing this, I want to avoid my emotions, I want to get rid of my thought. If I persistently doing it, uh, I'm sure you feel very tired, you get very tense up, so can you imagine if you do this for half an hour, 2 hours? So again, this is a very tiring experience. So our tendency, our mind, so when something kind of unpleasant happen, sometimes we kind of let it direct jerk us around, or sometimes we want to get rid of it. So this is all very normal coping, but we kind of see that this is not very helpful. So let's see what happened. Now what you do, you put it down. You put down the paper, probably on your lap or beside you. So can you see that the thoughts and emotion are still there, but now you have more freedom with your hands. You have more attention that you can kind of focus in this thought, rather than focus on these thoughts and emotions that kind of disturb you. So you can kind of change your attentions. You become freer. You become less tense up. But the thoughts and emotion is still there. So I want you to kind of because what happened is you can see if we get hooked, so we may start to behave in a way that not us, right? So you will see some panic shopping, uh, just buy everything, but we can't eat that much, right? So you start reading news about the bread, like fresh, just not eaten, so it being kind of like Western, you know. Or we can unconsciously, unintentionally become kind of like stigmatizing to certain group of people, really unconscious. We do not really have an intention to look down on people, but this is just like how our mind try to kind of help us, to get rid of our discomforts, to try to give us suggestion that be safe, or we may start to, if we let all those, even this is a positive thoughts, for example, like thoughts, right? But if we kind of let that thoughts kind of like hook us, like then I only see that. So we may become very angry when they start doing things not really taking care of themselves. So we may become very insisting, obsessing. You must do this, you must do that, you must not like uh, uh, touch this, and if you touch it, you need to wash your hands. So I have this kind of happens. More argument may start happening at home, or we kind of like once we get that very unpleasant conflict, we may kind of like stop talking, become withdrawn. We probably want to run away from that person. So this is what happens if we kind of like let the thoughts and the emotion kind of like hold us too tightly. Then we become kind of like not flexible. Or another, we want to get rid of those someone telling me that, even the hands already become very red, that they still keep washing hand and they become very paranoid. They say after washing hand they touch something and they don't want to wash again, and then they're not sure are their food are clean or not, so they start become do not dare to eat the food, so it become a very vicious cycle. Then the anxiety definitely kind of build up with hunger. Then I also have people kind of telling me, when they have kind of sore throat, they start suspecting they have COVID, so they start to distance themselves from people, or they start keep doing checking, check the door handle. They start doing many different things that not really suggested by kind of WHO, suggested by certain people, like for sure you see video, they can kind of exaggerate things, right? They wash their whole body, they, so they start yeah, this is what happened to me also when the first few days of MCO, keep checking. Then you get very anxious. You kind of overwhelmed by all kind of information. And I have some people that I know when they, because of that information overload, they start checking on themselves. So that kind of reinforce all the discomfort. So this is what happened to human mind. So when something unpleasant happen, we kind of go into a struggle with that emotions and with that thoughts, but we want to feel good, we want to feel secure, we want to feel safe, so we do not want to feel anxious. So we go into a struggle. But this is what happened when you go into a struggle. Very, very soon you will find out, yeah, probably that if you already become very rigidly, repetitively doing things like hand washing, but in a long term, what happened? The anxiety will come back very soon. And in fact, not only worried, then you start to feel tense. You start to feel really scared. You start to have lots of doubt and become paranoid. So this is what happened. Our emotion kind of build up. The more you want to get rid of it, you want to run away from it, but it kind of create more emotions in us. So my suggestion will be first, let's drop the struggle. If they are still there, the emotion is still there, so but we want to drop the struggle. So what does that mean? Dropping struggle means uh, I acknowledge it is there instead of kind of deny. No lah, no lah. You cannot have that thought. You cannot have that emotion. You should not be worried. So it's very, very weird, right? If we are not worrying at that time, at this point of time. If you are not worrying, you may start, if you're not worrying, then you may not staying at home. You may kind of dismiss the MCO, right? So I think it's normal to worry. It's normal to feel anxious. Uh, so drop the struggle means doesn't mean you need to like it, you need to approve it, but just allowing that emotions and that thoughts, then what can we do after kind of like allowing these thoughts, right? I want to use this uh, acronym to kind of help us this face COVID. So what face COVID? I think the very first step is focus on what is in your control. So we need to differentiate what we can control and what we can't control, right? So probably the situation outside, how many people get infected, how's the policy of our country. We probably and we also very little control on our thoughts and emotion. They are just popping up naturally. But what we can control is our mouth, our hands, our leg, our action, what we want to do with this body. And we have also more control on our attentions, where we want to put our attention. We want to keep focusing on this, or we want to kind of expanding our attention. Yeah. So I want to bring you to another kind of like short activity. Just want to show you, how can we do this step, acknowledging our thoughts and feeling, then come back to what we have more control is our body, then engage in what we are doing now, come back to the here and now. Because when we are worrying, our mind tend to like have a time travel machine, right? Go to the future, go to something we have very little control, or go to the past. Then we start kind of ruminating, and we kind of make things worse. We already kind of have enough on our plate now. So if we kind of bring all those things in our plate, then it kind of make things worse. So this is the activity we like to call it dropping the anchor. So the metaphor is like if you're in a boat, and thunderstorm happen, can you control the thunderstorm? You can't. But what would you do if you're already very near, then you kind of want to drop the anchor. So what's the purpose of dropping anchor? You can't stop the thunderstorm with the anchor, but you want to kind of like ground yourself, so you feel you can have this sense of grounded, so that you won't let the thunderstorm or the storm kind of carry you to the places you do not want to go. So this is what happened. It's normal for us to feel worried. So when we feel worried, we feel panicky, as if there is a thunder, emotional storm happen in us, right? Kind of like jerk us around. So we may start behave in a way, not us. So we want to drop the anchor. So let's do it together with me. So I want you to do this. Say something like, I notice my worried here. I notice my fear here. I notice my sadness here. And I also notice there is these thoughts. Am I safe? Uh, am I healthy? Is my immune system okay? Do I do enough? So just acknowledge it, whatever thoughts that you have written down. Yeah? So after acknowledging all this, let's kind of move your body. You can do a gentle stretching. And while you do that, I want you kind of really feel that stretch. Feel that stretch on your hands. Move your shoulder. And take a move your leg, touch the floor, and feel your buttock with the chair. All right. And the worry still be there, the thought is still be there. We want to kind of expand our attention more, expand it to our environment. So let's look around, uh, name 5 things you see in your home. So my home, I can see curtain, I can see sofa, I can see table, I can see bed, I can see pillow. So, and also kind of name a few sounds that you can hear at this moment. So definitely you heard my sound, and fans or acorns, TV, radio, or some people kind of talking in your house. All right. Also kind of touch your hand. I like to really feel this warmness. Then also come back to the activities. Talk, focus on me. So this is dropping the anchor. The emotion is still there, the thoughts is still there, but it kind of less impact on us. Less, we are not like dominated by those thoughts and actions. Then we definitely want to generate some kind of committed action. So I guess initially we may decide this MCO, but then we start to kind of acknowledge, yeah, we need to do this for everybody goods, so we kind of allowing that. Then we start to accommodate to this. We start to look for opportunity to do meaningful stuff at this moment. So we may start doing things that we probably have no time to do when we are busy, right? The things that really important to you. And how about this? Opening up. What does that means? I want. Or you can also view it like advertisement in a Facebook. You can't really control what advertisement appear on your Facebook. But what you do is you won't click on every advertisement. You won't also remove every advertisement. Otherwise, you will get very busy, get very tense up. So what you do is how we view our thoughts. It's more like our thought is not a dictator. It's more like an advisor. They give us all kind of advice, but there are some kind of helpful advice, some are not so helpful advice. So for example, you already wash your hand and you start touching things, then your mind start telling you again, oh, this is unclean, you may get infected, wash again. You can kind of, all right, noted, I know you want to help me, my giving suggestion, but already covered. So then you can continue to carry on with whatever meaningful activities you are doing at that time. Stop there, keep worrying, analyzing. Then how about our emotions? I plan to do this activity with you, but I'm not sure do we kind of have time. Probably kind of 2 minutes thing. Like how do we kind of care for our emotions? Uh, can can we kind of try? So what I want you to do is more like just how you mentioned some kind of emotions, right? So now I want you to, instead of running away from that emotion, I want you to kind of like feel that emotion. Let's say, you feel worried, worried for your financial, worried for your safety, worried for your health, worried for your family member. You have this fear, you have this doubt. I want you to kind of feel it, and let's have a quick chat. Where do you probably on the neck, probably on the shoulder, probably on the chest, or stomach, So once you kind of feel that, then I want you to use your imagination to imagine it as an object. What's the shape, what's the color, how big it is, and notice that no matter how big it is, it will be bigger than you. What's the temperature? Is it heavy? Is that light? What is the consistency? Is that soft? Is that gassy? Just you use your imaginations. Yeah? So after you imagine that, what you try to do is making room for it by take a deep breath and use that breath to kind of surround that object. Again, use your imagination. Kind of breathe around that object, or breathe. So while you do it, it's not making the emotions smaller. It's not, you purely just want to kind of care for it, like giving some kind of support, giving some kind of care. Uh, so feel that warmth of caring for that emotion. For some of you, you may feel the emotion kind of become smaller. Great, enjoy it. But even it didn't become smaller, it still stay the same. It's okay, because what we are trying to do here is more like care for it sincerely. Just like, if someone come and care for you, but they start saying things like, oh, I care for you, so don't worry that much. Please stop worrying. Please not be that sad, So how would you feel? For sure you will feel, ugh, you get very tense out. So it's smaller. If it becomes smaller, it becomes smaller, because emotion will come, stay, and go or change by itself. Same like our thoughts. So we let it, we kind of allow, not only allowing, but kind of make room for it. And definitely you want to identify your values and take the opportunity to live out your values. So what is your value? Value is a quality that you are looking for deep down from your heart. How do you want to treat yourself? How do you want to treat people around you? How do you want to treat the world? So might be caring, contribution, curiosity, being creative, being supportive, being kind. So what you really treasure a lot, you really care a lot, what you really want to stand for. Then also identify resources. These are three resources that probably can make good use of it. Let's say you find the emotion, it kind of overwhelm, the thoughts kind of overwhelm. Value, you can kind of make a call for this. You can kind of choose one of it and see whether it kind of being helpful or not. Okay, and these are my reference. So if you want to kind of understand a bit more, you can click on to YouTube. There is a video about what I said about this face COVID, and also an ebook. So you can click on these two links. All right, so that's all. So any questions?
So Dr. Lai, I guess this is your last slide.
Yeah, this is my last slide.
Okay, thank you so much. And I think we should now open up time for Q&A. So if anybody has any question, please make use of the you want us to unmute you so that you want to speak and ask question, let us know through chat as well. Okay, one question.
Okay.
The question's about meditation.
All right.
What is your thought about doing meditation to help in coping with our negative emotion?
Okay. I can see whoever asking this question definitely try to find an effective way to kind of cope more effectively, right? And about these meditations, it really is very important to look at what's your purpose of doing the meditation. What's your aim? Let's say your aim is to make you feel relaxed. I would say it can be very useful if the situation is less threatening. You know, it's a in very not so challenging situations you probably can feel relaxed. But in a very challenging situation, it's related to something you really care about, you know, uh, like probably your health, you know, and or your loved one currently kind of like struggle with COVID, you know. I'm sure it is. It won't really make you calm, you know, because like for clarity, you know, like you can observe, you have this thought and you have this emotion, you know. So so it's very important if some people use meditation more for like a way to run away from their emotion because they feel anxious. Let's say their loved one kind of like struggle with COVID. I'm sure you feel stressed out, you feel sad, you feel worried. But if we start using meditation to run away from that emotion, then you probably may behave in a way that may not be you. You want to care, but once you start care, you will feel anxious. So then, if you start using meditation to kind of like run away, you know, then it may not be very effective in the long run. So yeah, so it really depends on the purpose of you using it. If you use it more like to obtain clarity, to understand my emotion, to kind of like looking flexibility with kindness, with curiosity, then it can be very helpful.
All right.
Mm.
Thank you. One question I have here is, I think a lot of us would be able to spend a little more time to do some reading.
Mm.
What kind of reading do you think would help us to be more relaxed, to feel less stressful?
uh, okay. I think there is no one answer kind of fix all, right? It depends on what you like, right? So from start, I mean, what do you like? What's your interest? You know, some people find reading recipe very soothing. You know, doing cooking, but some people find it very stressful. So it really depends. So some people you know, like funny movie make them relax, but some people when in during this time when they even feel stressed up, I can't be happy when I look at it. I you know I still kind of like occupied by all these issues. uh, so I guess there is no one answer that fits all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I would say, but some people kind of really find it useful to reduce the, the keep checking on the info about COVID, because all kind of information appear, all kind of story appears. I have a lot of people come and tell me they suspect they have COVID because they have this itchiness at the sore throat, and they read a story like people diagnosed with COVID, then the next day they pass away. So definitely this is not the norm, you know. And when people making news, for sure they will kind of exaggerate things, because we know there is different stage of this COVID, 5 stages, can provoke a lot of anxiety, unnecessary anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
yeah.
All right. Any questions from anyone else? Okay, well, there's one here. How to overcome the feeling of loneliness and social isolation? Here's a question from Amy. How do we overcome the loneliness and social isolation, the feeling?
The feelings. Yeah, I think it's good for someone who asks this question. You already acknowledge your feelings. I noticed there is this loneliness here. So loneliness is a feeling helping us to connect, right, to reach out. So you can kind of use that feelings to kind of guide you to do something meaningful at that point of time. You may want to reach out, you may make a call. Probably it's not the appropriate time, let's say 11 a.m, 12 a.m, so probably it's not appropriate time to kind of reach out to others. Then you can use that to kind of connect with yourself, or for someone with faith, you can use that to connect with God. That loneliness can really kind of guide us, to look for connection. So we can use that time to kind of like look into our emotion. Yes, I have this loneliness here, and kind of care for that feelings, like what we are doing just now. Physicalize it, be there for it, like kind of using you can kind of touch that area or breathe around that area to send some kind of warmth, some kind of support to yourself. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, one more question here. Right from this. How to help children cope with their anxiety and frustrations? All children are now at home, no way to go back to school. So how do we help the children to cope with their anxiety and frustration?
Yeah.
I think it's a very important question.
Yeah. So I guess as so someone who asked this question, for so you are a caring mom or caring aunt, caring grandma, you must be someone kind of caring. You really want to help the kids, right? So we already kind of identify what is not so useful here. If we kind of like not acknowledging their emotion, you should not feel frustrated. You should not feel anxious. Don't feel anxious, don't think about it. This is not useful. It's more like, so that may create more tension. So what we can do is more like acknowledge, it's normal to feel frustrated. I have that feeling also. So sometimes with that, that validation, they already not let disturbed by all those emotions, with that validation, uh, and let them kind of like talk about their frustration, talk about their anxiety, then helping them to expand after talking, after validate, helping them to come back to their body. Let's stretch your body, let's kind of expand their focus. At this point of time, there is this anxiety here, there is this frustration here, but there are many things also happening here. So mommy is here, grandma is here, or grandpa is here. Let's do something meaningful. no matter how small it is, let's make this time kind of useful, meaningful. Yeah.
So in other words, Dr. Lai, what you mentioned is that whatever we have learned through this talk, that do something similar, so that like what you say, the COVID-19, the it's not COVID-19, I mean the, what do you use? COVID?
The face COVID, the
face
specs,
COVID,
right?
that
Yeah,
means
yeah, yeah.
where we do the anchoring and also the acknowledging our feelings and all this. We can lead our family members to do it together, huh? Probably.
Yes. But I would say do it on yourself first, so it's very hard to do something for other people if you yourself kind of did not experience that. And also kind of need to be kind of careful in a way, like we do not want to make this like become, oh, I heard this talk, you should do this, you should do that, then it become really we're more like being hooked by this talk. So we want to kind of being flexible, and we want to do it with a lot of kindness, with a lot of understanding, with a lot of compassion. So instead of just directly say you need to do that, their difficulty, their emotion, to normalize their emotion first and their thoughts. Yeah. Yeah. But if you experience that you want your family to do something but they do not kind of follow, for sure you feel frustrated. So take this opportunity, kind of like care for that frustration first, because you feel frustrated, that means you care. You want to be a good mom, you want to be a good family member, you want to be a caring person. So let's kind of care for ourselves first.
All right. Okay, let's give another 30 seconds or anyone else to put down their question in our chat. So I guess there's no more questions. Well, if you notice in the chat picture, everyone, you can back that where you can give us your inputs, feedback for this talk later on when you can, so that we can see what more we can do. Yeah.
There is one question from Valen Lai, Dr. Lai. He asked how to cope with insomnia.
All right. Insomnia is kind of like very it's a very difficult experience, right? It is a very torturing experience. And it can be quite complex also, insomnia. But I just want to touch a few things here, a kind of like simple thing. So what we can do when we kind of can't sleep at night, right? And let's tap into what's inside, what happened inside us. Like we can ask a few simple questions like, how do I feel now? And what's my thoughts running in my mind? Usually it's like, oh, some kind of worrying thoughts, so all those very worst case scenario type of, remember your mind try to be a problem solving machine, try to give you suggestion, you must sleep. But what you notice is the more you force yourself to sleep, then the harder you fall into a sleep, because your body starts sensing a lot of threat, a lot of pressure. So then you will kind of stay alert automatically. So what I would say, drop the anchor during that time, so kind of prepare your body into a sleeping posture. Look for a posture that you find it kind of comfortable. Then you want to acknowledge all those thoughts and emotion. Is that this is my thoughts here, this is my worried here. Just acknowledging it, just allowing them to be there. But we know if we keep doing it, may not be very helpful. So we kind of want to do some kind of gentle stretching. Then we want to put our focus to other senses. So you can kind of use your ear to listen to aircon sound, the fan sound, so that your mind will be keep focusing on those worrying thoughts. But some people find hearing is very scary, make it even more uncomfortable. Then don't use hearing. You can go back to touching. So touch your pillow, touch your blanket, feel that blanket, feel that warmness in your bedroom, in that blanket. So you can kind of focus on that. And you can kind of changing after doing that for some time, then can go for touching yourself, pet yourself. So kind of being kind to yourself. So slowly you may, like find it, you can kind of like easier to kind of fall into a sleep. If you really can't, then just tell yourself it's okay. It's okay, So don't kind of force yourself. Don't put a lot of pressure to sleep, So then probably the next day just then no need to compensate, our sleep cannot be compensated. Sometimes we kind of thought, oh, because I lack of sleep the other night, so I want to compensate, I want to sleep until noon, then it become not so helpful. So try dropping an anchor during that time. Okay. So I hope whatever I share, you may find it useful in certain way.
Thank you, Dr. Lai.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
See any more questions coming? So I guess our listeners are satisfied as of this point in time.
Yeah, and it's okay. Let's say you find it a little bit hard to understand whatever you know what is this, like accepting our emotion, like not letting our thoughts is not our dictator, is advisor. Definitely this is weird. It's normal to feel weird. That means you kind of like start to do some new thing, listening to some new thing, something you are not so familiar. So it's okay, and we can kind of allow that weird feeling and take time, and hopefully because this is something sound easy, but technically when you start doing it, it is something quite not easy. It sounds simple, but it's definitely not easy. It really takes time to do practice. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we can end here. And once again, thank you very much for your time and the effort. And if there's any more questions, we will communicate with you separately. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people thanking you for this session.
Thank you, everybody also like willing to share their attentions and choose to kind of focus. Thanks a lot. Yeah, it's
now, feel free to give us feedback through the web link. And good night rest to everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.